Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got an absolutely fantastic guest coming on the show today, and I tell you, it's a lot of things that he's going to talk about. I think it's going to catch all of our attention because many times I think we are misdirected in life on a lot of different things, and we need to kind of get a handle of that. So today's guest is going to share some ideas with us. I'm excited about the show, Michelle, because uh, this doctor, he's probably going to become one of my best friends because, chiropractor, doing a lot of great things. And plus, he possesses a whole lot of wisdom, so I'm excited about this. I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, was it E36 Television, Transfer TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and over 85 other platforms. Welcome to the show. If you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Michelle, can you do the honors by introducing the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Yes, the title of today's show is called Why So Many People Feel Disconnected Today and How True Alignment Restores Clarity and Direction. So, we're having a sit down discussion with Dr. Dan Fleischman. He's an author, speaker, and spiritual mentor, and the founder of the Ezekiel Center. He's going to talk about why so many people feel off, even when life looks fine on the outside, the difference between chasing improvement and restoring alignment, how misalignment quietly affects decisions, relationships, and peace of mind, and what it means to live from a creator centered space. So, Dr. Fleischman, wow, his work is dedicated to helping people who feel internally disconnected despite outward success reclaim clarity, alignment, and direction in their lives. After years of studying personal development, spiritual principles, and human behavior, Dr. Dan recognized a common pattern. Many people operating from fragmented systems that never address the root of misalignment. The Ezekiel Center was created to offer a grounded, creator centered approach to personal alignment, spiritual leadership, and mastery without requiring adherence to any specific religion or belief system. Dr. Dan's work helps individuals reduce internal conflict, make clearer decisions, and live with greater peace, confidence, and purpose in a rapidly changing world. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Dan Fleischman.
How you doing, Dr. Dan? How
I'm
you
doing
doing?
fantastic. Happy to be here.
Man, it's an absolute pleasure having you on, man. I look you up. I see a lot of things that you're doing, and I am ready to dive into a lot of this stuff right here. But could you tell our audience a little bit more about you, where you grew up, what made you click, why you're so passionate about what you're doing?
Absolutely. Well, I'm originally from Southern California. I grew up in San Fernando Valley, and my passion has been helping people my entire life. I started on a spiritual journey from the time I was very young, and wasn't getting answers the way I uh, was hoping I would. So that led me on a quest to research and dig and discover who I was. And in discovering who I was, I really got a glimpse into other people and what makes them tick, if you will, and also what gets in their way, and to help people reclaim their personal power, reclaim their connection to creator, and to really move forward in a aligned creator space that not only helps themselves but also everybody around them. It helps their family, their communities, their relationships. I mean, there's so many aspects of being properly aligned and connected that just has a global impact, not only in their lives, but in the lives of the people around them.
So uh, why did you want to talk about this topic today, and what do you expect our audience to get? Or why so many people feel disconnected today, and how true alignment restores clarity and direction?
If you look at the world around us, so many people are in obvious massive pain, psychologically, emotionally, physically. It's a mind, body, spirit. They've lost connection to source. just turn on the news and just watch the rampant disconnection. And so much of that is because it's outward directed. It's they did this, he did that, she did that, the world is this way or that way. And there's no ownership of anything. The thing that I really want people to walk away from is that any part of themselves or other people that they don't love is an aspect that's fragmented within themselves that needs to be loved and healed and restored and connected back to Creator.
Yeah, so you mentioned the Ezekiel Center. I'm gonna play this in this short video, and then let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
I take you on a journey of self-discovery. See, here's the key thing. If I tell you what your problem is, it's meaningless. If I have you discover what your problem is, mind blown, you have revelations, you have breakthroughs, you have, as soon as you can take ownership of what it is, then you can take your life to where you want it to go.
I mean, I feel like since I've known you and I've been able to let certain things go, and I've seen where my trials have taken me, and then I've revisited over and over and over and over again. But since I met you and we have been doing this
Ezekiel method.
Yeah, see, that's his cue. Is I feel like I'm a better person.
The thing that people find so liberating about what we teach is we let people know that it's okay to feel.
Yeah, that's so important. You're doing such good work. I really think it's cool.
Heather, what is your biggest accomplishment?
Changing people's lives.
Boom. See, that's a real man right there. Just saying. I would have said on a wall or something, but no, he went right to the healing of people. That's awesome.
Get in touch with Dr. Dan. If you need anything, just contact him. Contact him and explain your situation. He will listen.
Wow, man, that's interesting. So can you expand to our viewers about the Ezekiel Center?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. What would you like to know first?
What made you create this center, and how long have you been doing the podcast? Because that looked pretty interesting.
I've been doing podcasts kind of on and off for the past 12 years or so. Started the Ezekiel Center close to 20 years, and just working with people all around the globe. What inspired me to do it is, I see people hurting, and I know that. See, the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that they're not broken, but what they've been trained to do from society, from parents, peers, friends, neighbors, is they discount aspects of themselves. They subordinate their thoughts, ideas to other people. They adopt ideas that have been instilled in them, that they're too tall, they're too short, they're too thin, they're too fat, they're this ethnicity, they're that ethnicity, they're this gender, they're that gender, whatever, this side of the tracks, that side of the tracks, whatever it is, whatever stumbling block it is that they've allowed to creep into their subconscious mind and allowed that programming to take root, and it interferes in their life. They are oftentimes unable to achieve the outcomes, the goals, and the dreams that they have in life, whether it be relationship, finance, career. It really doesn't matter. It runs the gamut of things. But the thing that I really want people to take ownership of is that you've got to love you. And a lot of people go on a tangent where you say, okay, I got to love myself. Well, I love myself. At the same time, all you got to do is listen to the language and hear that that's not true. Or they might love portions of themselves, but there's other portions that they want to hide away or bury in the closet that nobody sees, that those skeletons that if they could just hide away and nobody ever sees them again, then life would be amazing. But
you had mentioned something, and we're going to take a break. I believe that a person has to dig deep inside of them and they had to know themselves, everything about themselves. I'm talking about good, bad, endeavor.
Exactly.
And I believe that they need to accept who they are. You know,
Well, it's more than accepting. You've got to take it beyond and love it. Because until you love those fragmented aspects of yourself, it'll keep showing up in your world. It'll show up in circumstances, in other people, in the people that in relationships that you thought you got rid of, but they keep showing up in a different body.
yeah. Hold that thought. We're going to take a station break. I tell you, this is a very interesting conversation. If you want to be part of this discussion, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, just sitting back and enjoying this discussion with Dr. Dan. That's if that's okay with you, Dan, I just call you Dr. Dan.
Absolutely.
And what we're talking about is why so many people feel disconnected today, and how true alignment restores clarity and directions. And my point that I was trying to make is what I did in the first video I showed. Person have to know themselves, everything about them. They have to accept themselves. They have to love themselves before they share themselves. So I think all of those things that are so important. That's what I speak on, are all over the place, and it's so important. But I think yours is similar to mine's. What you was pointing things out, because I believe that it's kind of hard to get direction of yourself if you don't know who you are. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. And not only do you have to know who you are, but you have to love those fragmented aspects. And see, here's the other thing too. When you don't love pieces of yourself, you see them showing up in your outside world. You see them reflected back to you from other people. You see it showing up in your finances. You see it showing up in, not you specifically necessarily, but people see it showing up in their health. They see it showing up in all different aspects of who and what they are. I mean, that's why you see so many people going around feeling unsettled, restless, angry. I don't know about you, but from what I've seen of just observing things, people seem to be more and more angry. And it's not just the gaslighting that we're seeing, but it's I remember even being, 20 years ago in Texas, say even 25 years ago, when I first moved to Texas, it was Texas friendly. Now, I'm not putting Texas down. I'm just saying what my reference point was in being there as an example. And then over the years, I noticed that paradigm started to slowly shift. People in general started feeling more and more angry and aggressive.
You're right. And that comes back to the sense of direction is, okay, long as I can say it's somebody else's fault, I can keep the blame away from me, and they resist change, because it's somebody else. For they told me to do that, and they was wrong. My thing is, Dr. Dan, I would say this: you can take inputs from how many people, or whatever that is you want, but the final decision, when you're making a decision, is up to the individual. What are your thoughts on that one? And then I'm gonna play. It's a couple of short clips that you sent me. I want to play as well.
Well, I absolutely love that question. Let's look at it without naming a politician. Let's look at it from a political aspect.
Okay.
If a politician majorly screwed up and they just flat out and owned it and said, this is what happened, I'm sorry, this is what I'm doing to correct it, it's completely on me, I accept full responsibility, and this is how I plan to move forward. It would be end of story. There would be no news broadcast about it. If it did, it would be like a one little clip, and it would be over and done with. And then if the politician or whoever it was, everyday person, just owns it, right? It takes the complete era out of the sales. Now, it can't just be lip service. It has to be heartfelt, because people have an intuitive sense. They sense the energy, they sense the vibration when someone's trying to snow you. But when you have even if it's your spouse, when you have someone who sincerely takes ownership and wants to correct, it's so much easier to forgive and move forward. Am I right or right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I know the game. I don't know if you know, I ran for city council mayor twice.
I did not know.
And
I had no idea.
I had to pull away from that, man, because I'm honest. And if you making a mistake or whatever that is, I'm gonna be the first to say, hey, that's on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but most of my friends that's in the game, it's all about getting reelected or all this or staying in the game. But you're right. If you stepped up and you took blame, you know when you make a mistake, you know that. And if you want to sit back and just try to blow it over, fast talk somebody, they're gonna see right through it. Now, they still might want to stick with you or whatever that is. But with that being said, let's play this clip right here.
Most people think their problem is money. It's not. Money's just the scoreboard. Alignment is the system. You don't get what you want. You get what your internal system allows. You can work harder, think positive, visualize all day long. But if the internal interference is still running, you keep recreating the same ceiling. That's not a motivation issue. That's an alignment issue. At the Ezekiel Center, we don't chase outcomes. We recalibrate the system underneath them. When your nervous system, beliefs, and reconnection to the Creator come back into cohesion, effort drops, clarity rises, and things begin to move. This work is felt in the body, not just understood in the mind. And because this work is experiential, I offer this guarantee for your first private one-on-one Zoom session only. If you show up fully present, fully invested, and fully engaged, and you don't feel an immediate energetic shift in your body, more clarity, more calm, more alignment, you'll receive a full refund, no questions asked. The only requirement is that you play full out. This isn't for the tire kickers or observers. If you're all in and you still don't feel the shift, you don't pay. If you're ready to engage at that level, here's your next step. Visit ezekielcenter.org. Schedule your private one-on-one Zoom call with me today. For a limited time, enter the promo code NEW20 at checkout and receive a 20% off any private one-on-one session. This offer won't be around for long. Book your session, show up ready, and experience the shift for yourself.
Man, I like your style, Dr. Dan.
Thank you.
I like your style when it comes to that, because most people won't reach out for help. I believe that they think they know it all,
Mm-hmm.
or they don't know it all, but they are embarrassed to ask for help. So the way that you put it like that, that kind of opens up the door where a person could easily. It all depends on the communication, how you just did that, can easily seek out and get your help. So how can people reach out to you? We'll hit it up again, but how can they reach out to you for the first segment? And is that complimentary, the first one? I don't know how that is.
Well, we can do a complimentary discovery call, and I've got links all over my webpage on it. But it's ezekielcenter.org. So it's Ezekiel like the prophet, Ezekiel center.org. Find me there and book your discovery call. And there's no charge for that. And in that discovery call, we'll kind of get a lay of the land, see what you want to work on, what's going on. And then I can point you in the direction of which one-on-one session would be most appropriate for you. I've got 3 different levels. I've got personal alignment, and that's, pretty basic for just the general public, people who want to find out more about what we do and also work on some key issues to start clearing, to start manifesting. I teach a 3-step process called the Ezekiel method to help them get connected to Creator, help them clear out limiting blocks and beliefs and barriers. Most importantly, have them love the aspects of themselves that they've been shunning and rejecting, so things stop repeating in their life, that they can move forward. And then also in the technique, it helps them teach them how to manifest a new reality. The second level with leadership, spiritual leadership, that's for more people who are in, say, organizational or corporate, or even parents. Moms are leaders and dads are leaders, right? But people who want to really step up their game and take things to the next level. And then we have spiritual mastery. Those people really are connected in that way, if you will, and they really want to up their game at a really high level, high capacity. Maybe they're in charge of 100 people or more, or they're running a huge corporation, or they want to really impact the globe in a serious way. They're real movers and shakers, or they have a really solid, strong spiritual foundation, and they just want to take it even further. They want to grow even more and have more of a positive, massive impact. I have different levels designed for different people depending where you're at. I like to meet people where they're at. So a great first step is booking that complimentary discovery call.
Wow. I think people need to take heed on that. We're going to mention that again later on in the show. But right now, we're going to take a station break. We're going to come back. I'm thoroughly enjoying this discussion. And I tell you, I see the numbers. Right now on YouTube alone, we got almost 4,500 people watching that. That's just one platform. You're watching it. Won't you call in and ask this great doctor, Dr. Dan, any question that you might have? I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's like a couple of things unpacked here before we get back in this great discussion right here. Michelle and I have 17 days before I head back to my kingdom in Ghana, where I will be installed as full-fledged king of the Gona Kasawa kingdom in Ghana. And Michelle will be installed as Queen Mother. So she will be on the throne with me. And I invite anybody to want to come. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic ceremony for both her and I. And if you want to, it's going to be televised live from there. I will send you the link. You might have to wake up early, like 5 o'clock in the morning, to watch it. In your case, Dr. Dan, that's probably about 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock your time, but in the morning. But we're looking forward to that. I'm always looking forward to going back to Ghana, going back to Africa, to sit back on the throne. So I'm looking forward to that. I see Dr. Cooley has joined us. How you doing, Dr. Cooley?
I am good.
Wow, I'm enjoying this discussion. It's absolutely fantastic. But before we get started, I want to play another one of your segments, if that's okay, Dr. Dan.
Welcome back, friends. Dr. Dan here. If the same kind of person keeps triggering you, it's not coincidence, and it's not a flaw. Most people think a trigger means something is wrong with them or wrong with the other person. But a trigger is neither. A trigger is simply a signal that something inside you was never fully resolved. At some point, your system learned how to survive by staying quiet, by people-pleasing, by shutting down, or by staying on guard.
So when a familiar tone, behavior, or situation shows up, your nervous system responds before your mind ever gets involved. At the Ezekiel Center, we don't fight triggers, we don't suppress them, and we don't spiritually bypass them. We listen to them because they're pointing directly to where alignment was interrupted. When that interruption is resolved correctly, the trigger loses its charge, not because you force peace, but because your system no longer needs to protect itself. If this resonates and you're ready to do the real work, you can start with one of our courses at Ezekiel Center or schedule a private one-on-one with me at ezekielcenter.org. Here's my promise to you. If you show up fully present, fully invested, and fully engaged, and you don't feel an immediate shift in your body, more clarity, more calm, more alignment, you'll receive a full refund, no questions asked. This offer is only available to new clients. Use offer code NEW20 at checkout and get a 20% discount on one of our private one-on-one Zoom sessions. Because this work doesn't rely on belief, it relies on alignment. And alignment always tells the truth. Please remember to like, follow, comment, and share.
Wow, I really like that, Dr. Dan. You said something about triggers, and you're right. It may not have anything to do with yourself or the other person, but unresolved issues. It's kind of, do you consider triggers maybe related to, not all the time, possibly being related to past trauma? And that person who's triggering that response had nothing to do with your trauma, but they could, let's say, look like that person, maybe the same mannerisms, but they really have nothing to do with that person.
100%. But first, I want to congratulate both of you and say I think that king and queen, it's amazing. Congratulations to both of you on that.
Thank you.
And to your point, yes, 100%. You can have past trauma. You can have what are called anchors, that when you see somebody or they have the same mannerisms or even the tone of voice, there might even be a familiar smell that could trigger you. And it immediately brings you back to the past. A great example is if you've ever driven along and you heard a song on the radio, and automatically it takes you right back to a time and place. You remember everything vividly, who was there, this event, the whole thing plays out in the theater of your mind. Same thing can happen, but even on a more subtle level, where you don't even realize what's happening. You might just react and respond and not even know why. You might encounter a person, just meeting them, they haven't done anything, and then simply the way they smile, maybe the curve of their lip, or the angle of their eyebrows, or the manner of their head tilt, something triggers you and you go, I instantly don't like this person. And that could be related to something that is locked in your subconscious from the past that needs to be loved and ultimately cleared.
So what is the next step for, let's say, a trigger, any type of trigger? It's never going to go away until you address it correctly?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll keep replaying. So what I like to do personally in my life and in the lives of my clients is I recommend you can keep a little journal, whether you have it on your smartphone or pad of paper or whatever, and just notice the little things in life. If something charges you, if you run into a situation at work, or maybe something in your relationship, or you see something on the news, or it could be completely random. Maybe it's completely out of the blue and unexpected, and you think to yourself, wow, that was an overreaction, or that was a response to something that I didn't expect, and it was out of proportion than what the situation called for. Write these things down. That starts to build a map for things to start working on and start clearing.
Hold up. I don't know what happened. Okay, it came back. What are some of the signs that a person might be functioning well on the outside, but totally disconnected on the inside?
Well, they're not living congruently. They may have money, they may have wealth, they may have fame, but inside they're miserable. Maybe they feel like they've got imposter syndrome or they're living a lie. Um, they may be continually chasing success to try to quell an emptiness or a sadness or a feeling of discord or discontent within themselves. I mean, those are some great signs that there's more, but that off the top of my head, those are some pretty big flags that, hey, things might look successful on the outside. Constantly chasing bigger, better, and more and thinking that's going to fulfill them. Now, it's fine to have money, it's fine to have toys, it's fine to have all those things, but when you're chasing something to fill an internal hole, that tells me that they're disconnected, that there's things look fine on the outside, but they're in turmoil on the inside. The other thing that you'll see regularly in our society is that people live way beyond their means. So they want to impress the neighbors. They want to impress the Jones, so to speak, and they'll put themselves in debt to look like they're at a certain level, but inside they're doing themselves harm.
You mentioned something that imposter syndrome.
Yes.
What is your definition of imposter syndrome? Because I think I know some folks that got that, and they try to pretend like they're somebody else, and not themselves. And the growth or the understanding is not there because they won't allow themselves to do what they might be capable of doing, because it's all about trying to show somebody else that you're better than that next person or this or that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what I do with my teachings is I always say the right tool for the right job. So any emotion can serve as long as you're using it in the right way. So imposter syndrome can, just like any emotion, can either work for you or it can work against you. It can work for you in terms of it being a good stepping stone to say, hey, like when I was in school initially, in order to be successful, the instructors would say, fake it till you make it. Well, there is some truth to that in the beginning until you get confident with your skill or what your job set is or whatever you're planning to do in life. And eventually, you start getting comfortable enough where, okay, you don't necessarily have imposter syndrome anymore. The negative side of imposter syndrome might be they feel like a fraud. They know that they're a fraud, but they're going to try to put on a brave face and just do it anyway, plow through and try to convince people without even really trying to necessarily work on themselves. They just want to snow people. That's what I would consider more of a negative aspect of imposter syndrome. You can use imposter syndrome as a tool to eventually help move you forward. Now, recognizing that, hey, maybe you have imposter syndrome, maybe you can use that as a catalyst to say, well, okay, what do I need to be comfortable with and own what it is that I'm looking to do, instead of just saying, I'm just going to, continue to try to, fake people out.
It's a lot of people out there like that. You already know that, Dr. Dan. I just say just know yourself, accept yourself, love yourself before you share yourself. Be who you are. You don't have to try to be somebody else, because it's not going to work. Tell you, we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back. We got a lot more, Dr. Dan, coming your way. If you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break. And welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. First of all, Dan, I would love to have you back on the show again for part 2.
I would love to come back.
This is such a wonderful discussion that we're having, and yes, absolutely. If your schedule permit, we'll get you back on. And I want to give a shout out to Joshua Goldsmith for making a recommendation. Yes, Josh, I see you watching. And Josh, you hit a home run, my friend. You hit a home run with Dr. Dan. So Dr. Dan, how does or what does it mean to orient life beyond ego, fear, and internal pressure?
You have to love yourself and all aspects of yourself, and it can't be a platitude. It can't be like, yeah, 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 I love myself. It has to be genuine and heartfelt. And a lot of people really don't know how to do that. They know how to do it on a verbal level, but to really feel it. If you ask a lot of people, do they love themselves? You might get answers like, yeah, yeah, of course I love myself. But then they do self-destructive patterns, or they do different things that show otherwise. So true alignment, true healing comes from loving yourself completely and fully. But I always like to say that you've got to love yourself, the good, bad, and the ugly, because everything serves a purpose. You know, God didn't create anything that we there's no aspect of us that should be hidden. It should be owned, it should be loved, it should be embraced. And we use that as a launching point to really change people's lives in a deep and heartfelt way, because when they truly love and accept themselves, there's really nothing they can't do. You know, all doors have become open to them. It's when people are fragmented and disconnected, and they don't love aspects of themselves, they find doors shutting, they find opportunities going away. It's hard to hold on to certain relationships. You know, those are aspects that need to be loved, integrated, and healed.
Well, Dr. Dan, that's a very good point. What are your thoughts about, you said people should love themselves completely and basically be honest with yourself. I mean, I'll give you just a hypothetical. There are people out there who are people pleasers. They're afraid to say no because they're afraid someone will get mad at them or they won't be liked, et cetera, et cetera. But how important is also one of the things to get in alignment is to accept that you may feel a certain way and not be hard on yourself. If someone asks you for a favor, let's say they say, hey, Dr. Dan, can you help me, move? We're moving my house, we're moving our stuff. If you don't feel like doing it or anything, you shouldn't feel bad about how you feel. That's how you feel. So I guess my question is, do you believe that there are people out there who feel bad about how they feel, but they should accept how they feel because that's just how they feel?
There's two parts to that. I'm going to first start off by saying, yes, they should accept and acknowledge how they feel, but then they also may want to find out, why do they feel that way? So they may want to help the person move, as an example, if they felt a different way about it. But it might be worth examining, is there a pattern there? Are they constantly avoiding something that maybe, again, triggers them, or they feel out of alignment with something, or maybe they feel out of exchange? Maybe they feel bad for putting personal boundaries in. Maybe they don't feel worthy of having healthy boundaries. Or maybe they have other motivations. That's part of the work that I do, is not just looking at something at a superficial level, but also digging in a little bit deeper and saying, okay, is there a motivation going on that needs more exploring in order to move them further in their life, to help them achieve those things that they're looking to achieve? There's an old expression that I've heard, over and over through the years, is how you do, one thing is how you do everything. So it's worth doing some reflection and finding out, is it simply they don't want to help them move, or is there something deeper going on? Is it the fact that they're afraid to establish boundaries, or is there something else? Does that make sense?
It makes a whole lot of sense. We're down to like two minutes of the show. What are some of the takeaways that you want our viewers and our listeners to get from this great discussion?
Well, you're not broken. And wherever you are in life, whether you're at the top of your game or you feel like there's almost no hope, there is always hope. You can improve wherever you're at. And again, with the promises that you heard me say on the video clips that you shared, I stand behind it. And this is how much I believe in my work and how much I can help people, is that if you don't feel that shift, if you don't, and I know how to calibrate too, so I can tell what's going on. If you don't feel that alignment, if you don't feel that shift, if you don't feel that you feel lighter and brighter about your situation, after I walk you through the technique, if you play full out, you'll feel it. And if you don't, no hard feelings. I'll give you your money back. I'm not worried about that. I have so much confidence and belief in what I do. I've helped so many people around the globe that I take you on a journey, and it's a healing journey, and it's a connection to source.
Well, can you, 45 seconds or less, can you tell our viewers and listeners how they can get in touch with you to get on your schedule, and proceed on their way to healing?
EzekielCenter.org, and just click the link that says schedule a discovery call.
Well, Dr. Dan, again, I'm gonna say it again. I would love for you to come back on the show. I thought this was absolutely fantastic, and thank you so much, my friend. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely outstanding show. I'd like to thank Josh Goldsmith for referring. He always send the best guests to me. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning into the James Cooley Show, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, KCBQ, The Answer, AM 1170 out of San Diego, K-Sky, AM 660, The Answer out of Dallas, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all of these things. Thank you so much. And I tell you what, always, always, always dream big, think big, and be big. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life, and we'll see you then.
Are y'all ready for the Dr. James